views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
Welcome to the Green Hour on WURD at 96.1 FM and also 900 AM on the weekend, sponsored by Celia. I'm your host, Dr. Paul Hopkins, and we're here every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. You can also find us online at www.wurdradio.com and in the community. My co-host is Health Advocate Bill, 1L Morgan. Bill, you there?
Yeah, every time I get to be your co-host, I'll be working it out.
Each week we bring clarity to the conversation about health and environment. We encourage clean living from the inside out. A centerpiece of this is maintaining a healthy lifestyle and getting informed about the connection between good health and what is happening in the world around you. It includes what you consume, what you wear, what products you use in your body, how you clean your home, what you drive, what you purchase, and the decisions you make every day. On the Green Hour, we will focus on the environment as a key part of our social integrity, and on the Green Hour, we will focus on how the people and the planet are one. Without further ado, welcome, family!
Yes, sir. What's up?
Hey, Jordan Booth.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
The Phenom, how are you, brother?
Yes, sir, doing pretty good. How about y'all?
Good. Everyone is well on this side. How you doing over there, Big B?
Man, shoot, I gotta hang out with Big Jordan, man. He the buddy. He got it going on.
Yes,
I know,
sir.
hey, Dr. P, I know Jordan say, man, how I get hooked up with these crazy people? That's just the way it be, man. Glad to have you, Jordan. Just wanted to let you know that, buddy.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Look, it's going good. And answer to your question, Dr. Paul, I'm doing real well, man. You know, it's overcast, but you know, just a little humid. But other than that, brother, I'm doing fine.
Hey, family, get ready, because here's come that heat.
Please.
This is one more week. They say this may be the last heat wave we have of the year, but we never know.
I don't trust that.
Yeah.
I'm with Big B on that. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. I think that this thing has been hitting people for left and right.
Right?
The next few days was the next 5 or 7 days. Have a heat wave, and this heat wave is going to be, again, humidity. When humidity comes in, it changes the game. Now you start to have, making it feel hotter than it really is, because it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Yeah,
maybe 93, but it's going to feel like 100 plus.
Yeah.
So, family, make sure you're doing the things that we talk about here on the Green Hour. We talk about how you can cool off, the cooling fruits, and how to, cool yourself off, stay hydrated, check on those that are, in positions where they may not have air conditioning, or our senior, right, Big B?
That's why you got to look out for young people like me.
Yeah. And also, help somebody out,
Yes,
if they need to get food, they need to get out, because, it's very hard when you have someone who doesn't have a proper distribution as far as a delivery system. It may be of water, get them some water, maybe you want to go out and get that. Sometimes people say, well, I love the Crystal Geysers of water, but I can't get it because it's hard for me to deliver. But guess what? If you call some of those places, maybe someone can help you bring that to you. One of our great sponsors, which is, of the Green Hour, which is actually Wayne Avenue Health Food, they actually deliver. So you might want to reach out, things like that. So this is all about helping the family, helping the community. because yes, things are changing, and we don't know what the weather's going to bring forth. It's crazy as it may seem. It is unpredictable, just like you said. You don't know. Because guess what? We mentioned it yesterday, didn't we, Jordan, on Dr. Ball show, that there was snow in Chile yesterday.
Yeah, I heard.
Yep.
I heard you
Out
say
of
that.
nowhere.
Out of nowhere. It's like 80-something degrees. We chilling over here. Next thing, wake up. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta be like, wait a minute.
Where winter come from?
What's going on here?
Man.
It happened again once back in 2017, but then this one, happened this time, this late. They've never heard it this late. This is something that's really a phenomenal. So check that out. Punch in Chile snowstorm. It hit yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So also, let's talk about what's going on, man. We're looking at Olympics wrapping up, Big B.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
What's our medal count? You know what our medal count is? Give us a medal count.
Forever. That's a whole bunch. Look. Let me just talk. Let me say this. I got to talk about my girl for quick, and then we go and get the medal count.
Okay.
Alex and Felix has been kicking humps, boy.
Oh yes,
absolutely. Let me tell you what is so thrilling about her, is that she knows where she is in this whole situation. She's been, gosh, I mean, you take a look at all of the Olympics that she's been involved in, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, and now here we are at 2020, but it's actually 21. Yeah. And you know what she says? Look, she's in great health. If you take a look at it, she's in great physical condition, right? She could really do another. But you know what? She said, no, I'm not doing it.
I mean, she's the most decorated now. She's
That's right. 11.
Past Carl Lewis. Now she is the most decorated of athletes in the Olympics. And from that, do you have a medal count for us? Total medal count from countries?
No, I don't.
I have one right here that we can go by right now as it stands. And I know
I'm looking at it right now too.
I know this is the last day. I don't know if they're actually finished anything because I haven't been watching it today. But I know that the ending ceremonies are this evening.
This evening, right.
But I know that from my latest, and I'm just kind of going based on what I'm looking at right now, the medal count was United States did win the total gold and overall medals. So we actually won 39 of the gold,
We're looking at the same one.
Yeah, 41 of the silver and 33 of the bronze. So it's a total of 113 medals. And China was second, which was 38 gold, 32 silver, and 18 bronze, which means they had a total of 88. So that, just give a shout out for the United States.
Indeed. Very much so. Very much so.
Some hands clapped over there.
Indeed.
All those, including Alison Felix, also Simone Biles, and all the things she represented with bringing attention to mental health.
Yes,
they are all to be applauded. Just to make the Olympics is an amazing thing. When you make the Olympics, that's the awesome piece. What I'm saying? I'm in the Olympics. I mean, that's a reward itself just to make it. Because people work so hard. And then we have the Winter Olympics coming in a few months, man.
Yep.
It's Winter Olympics is coming. So I can't wait. I love the competition, the sports. The ability for performance and the thrill of victory is one of the greatest things that you can see. So shout outs to all of them that have achieved with that. Let's see what else is going on, Big V. What about our numbers in the news, man?
Look, as of about 2 or 3 minutes ago, we're looking at a total from our quick facts and our special site, guys, which we always try to sort of keep you up on. That's encode2019.live. As of 3 minutes ago, our total confirmed cases at 203,294,725. Total critical cases, 98,735. Total deceased worldwide, 4,305,482. Total active cases, 21,866,233. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bam! Total recovered. Mental health time, 180,916,371. Dr. P, kick it, man. That's where it's at.
That's it.
That's where it's at.
And, and the numbers are rising, family. Still, this is not the COVID-19 that we started with. This is the COVID-21. So that means that, yes, there is another variant, and these variants are going to continue to upload, and they're going to change because it's the life of this thing trying to procreate itself. So, it always comes back to what we've been speaking from the very beginning. It's like a broken record on this side. Build the immune system. What do you have to build the system? Because that's what it's banking off in the beginning. Our philosophical approach is that, God has given you all that you have required inside of you. You have to unlock that. And that's what the food and what we say, the herbs are the meat of the earth, the trees are for the healing of the nations, so that we can do the things that we have to do, so they can unlock those things, so they can build your immune system. And I tell you, it brings me to our topic today. The topic today that I want to talk about is, and we always talk about different forms of things that we can do to improve, to take your mind off the anxiety, because you can get caught up in this thing and, get that rabbit hole and start looking, with glasses. You remember when Peter was in the water, he's walking across the water, came out the boat. You remember when Jesus was in the boat? Jesus said, hey, look at me.
Look at me, I got this.
He did. When he started looking around, he started singing. He's like, don't look outside. Keep your eyes on Daddy. So what does it mean? I want to keep your eyes on Daddy today. And that means start to focus on other things. Yes. And that's about your health. Not always worrying about, what's out there, what's doing this, what's out there. It's always something that you can't control because it hasn't happened yet. Something that happened in the past, you got the conspiracy theories and things. And there's some stuff that's out there that's really, it's got a lot of tangibility to it, but you got to be careful. You still got to be careful. Only thing I can bank on is right now. I'm in the present. And that's why it's called the present, because it's a gift to you. Stay in the present. Got it? Stay in the present and know that only thing I can change is what's going on right now. God has given me this moment, this breath in my body, to breathe every moment, every second, every instant that I can think that I'm aware and I'm alive. You have to be thankful for that. And I said, when, we talked about, I think it was last week, we talked about how, whenever you're having a feeling of anxiety and things, start being thankful. Start thinking, start counting your blessings, as folks would say, count your blessings to say, what am I doing? What am I doing? What should I be doing? Let's look and see how far I've come and how far I can go if I plan correctly. So I want to look at today, going back in to how you can look at, some people will say eating for your blood type. Some will even say there's a way of telling, based on where you come from. I want to emphasize and push that point today because, yes, we can see that if you know where you come from, if you start to eat closer to where you come from, you start to notice your health starts to improve.
On that, quick question for you. And I'm glad you brought that up because you know what? I was out with my wife yesterday, and we ran into a young lady that asked, who is not of our particular persuasion, but she was talking about doing the best one can as we were talking about, keeping our immune systems in good shape. She's Italian. She says, okay. I don't know. I said, and I said exactly what you just said. I said, we have to get back to the point where we eat closer to where we are from. Now, with that being the case, if you, let's say, are Italian, what is your best bet? Okay, because we got to look at the entire family here so that we can keep everybody healthy. What would you suggest for them to sort of, come back to as close to where Daddy would have us?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. I want you first, before we go into this topic today, I want you to get on, give the family the number that they can call in. I want folks to participate with this one today.
Yeah.
Testimonies. We always say it's always a testimony Sunday here on the Green Hour. But if you have questions, concerns, things that you may have been using to help out, give them the information so they can call in. And I do believe we have some callers already calling in, but
All right.
give them the information so so the
You
rest
got
of
it,
the
Dr. P.
know.
Hey, guys, for all the ones that are listening right now in the Delaware Valley area and the three-state area, that is we're right here at 96.5 FM 900 AM WRD. And the call-in local number is 215-479-7355. Listen to me, I'm giving out your number. The call-in number is 215-634. Man, see that? You got me going, boy. 215-634-8065. Again, that's 215-634-8065. If you're out of the calling area, you get us right here at 1-866-361-0900. One last time, 1-866-361-0900. Black Talk Media, 96.1 900 AM WRD Radio. Black Talk Media. Love ya. One of those days, boy. Man, my eyes all over the place.
You know, that number sounds familiar.
What? Don't call Dr. Paul yet. Give him a minute.
You call me yet. Say, how come this number? This ain't WRD. Wait a minute. All right. Okay, family. Before I go to the first callers that come in, the reason I'm tapping on this point today because I think it's very important that you know that there's a difference living in the northern hemisphere to the lower hemispheres. Then closer to the equator is the hottest place on the planet. That's where all the food and nutrients is. So that's why down by the equator it's the hottest of the planet, but that's where the sun penetrates the soil.
Yes.
Plant. You know, of course the not only the soils and the plants, but also the herbs, the water, everything has a higher charge. So now, you know, that's also where a lot of the nutrients is from the food, but when you're now living at the northern hemisphere, you're not getting that nutrient. You're getting what's called indirect sunlight. So then you're not getting that total nutrients in your food. What does that cause? That now causes a lot of deficiencies, malnutrition issues. You know, there was a book that came out a while called Eating for Your Blood Type. And people were asking, like, is this any relevance? And for some people, it worked. But for a lot of people, you know, it may work to a certain degree, but if you're not addressing the industrialization, which is happening to a lot of the food, which means a lot of the GMOs and the factors of, pesticide sprays and the contamination, the EMFs, the widespread of contagions and things like that, you have to address the change there, then it's not going to work. But you can start to now look for more nutrients. So here's what I want to talk about today. Eating from where you come from.
Oh, I love that.
The way that you can eat from where you come from is first to find out where you come from. We have, of course, you've seen a lot of the different websites that have the ability for you to trace your ancestry.com. There's 23andMe. There's also one that I highly recommend, which I wanted to go into today, what's called FamilyTreeDNA.com. Got it? FamilyTreeDNA.com. Now, of this, I chose this site, and it's because I believe that you need to know where you come from, and I believe this is very critical to your health, because sometimes people will say, "Well, I ate that, and that made me." Oh, I felt good. But then somebody else said, I ate that. That made me sick. Everything is not for everyone. And that's why we always say start with an assessment anyway. But one of the sites that you can do that I found a lot of information from was probably the largest, one of the, very many websites out there, of course. I want to be very clear with that. But this one has a lot that you can implement from other websites with. It's called FamilyTreeDNA.com. And with this database, it is considered one of the largest databases in the world, that it can actually show you where you're from. And from that, sort of roll out these things called haplotrees and migration maps. So it shows you, you can change books, but you can't change the mapping of where this DNA moves, and that's where the migration. So they give you a migration map. They give you DNA matches, so people who actually have done the same thing can match and find you, and it'll let you know who have the same ancestry as you. Matter of fact, I've met several people on here that I've met in New York, that had the same lineage, man. So it very much opens up a line. Now, here's where I'm going with this. the point that I'm going with this is that there's times when we've looked at people and their deficiencies are tied into the very thing that their people eat in their location from where they're from. So say, for example, West Africa. We talk about West Africa sometimes. There's some places that you can see that there's a deficiency with nutrition when they move to the U.S. They all seem to have an issue with, of course, vitamin D, number one, because you're out of climate. But also there's a blood disorders. There's a lot of blood disorders because you can't clean the blood. You don't have the energy to actually to stir up enough energy so that you can properly clean the body. So it's almost very equivalent to having like a Rolls Royce and you're putting 80 something octane in your car. You're going to get
clunk.
right.
Yes.
Not enough charge, not enough energy. So
right.
I'll go into a little bit about the family tree DNA. Some of the things I'll share with you that I've discovered and how this can be beneficial for you, because you can actually start to look up your DNA, find out where it is, and then you can go into maybe finding out some of the deficiencies you may have right now, or chronic conditions can be tied from where you come from. How about that? All right, before we do that, we're going to come right back. We're going to take a quick break, though, and then we'll be back and talk more about this, going into, your eating from where you come from. This is Dr. Paul and Bill 1L Morgan, the Green Hour, and we'll be right back.
Wayne Avenue Health Food, located at 5007 Wayne Avenue, has been in business for 29 years. Wayne Avenue Health Food is a one-stop shop for all of your quality vitamins, herbs, and information with exceptional, friendly, experienced service. Wayne Avenue Health Food is open 7 days a week and delivers in the Philadelphia area and ships all over the country. For more information, call 267-338-6488.
As a father, I've done everything I can to protect my children. For my family, getting the COVID vaccine is about protecting the whole family now and in the future. That's why I'm making sure my children get the COVID vaccine and protect their health. For me, it's one less health risk to worry about. You have the power to finish this.
Visit pa.gov/COVID for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
A Night of Passion makes a married doctor question his assumptions about love, lust, and monogamy. In The Marriage Pass, a tale of domestic suspense from Brianna Cole, smart, sexy, and filled with drama. The Marriage Pass explores the boundaries of a relationship by taking the what if of a free pass. One partner's consequence-free night with their greatest temptation to a new level. Pick up your copy of The Marriage Pass by Brianna Cole today, everywhere where books are sold. And for more information, visit BriannaCole.com. That's BriannaCole.com.
Save the date. Thursday, August 26th for WURD Radio's annual Founders Day celebration, honoring the life of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. This year, we'll be both in person and virtual. Stay tuned to WURD Radio and WURDradio.com for more information. That's Thursday, August 26th for our annual Founders Day celebration. Exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. Founders Day is brought to you by Pico, Keystone First, Bank of America, Ready Set Philly, Comcast, Brown's Family ShopRite, and Temple University. You're listening to The Green Hour, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Black Talk Media.
And we are back. This is Dr. Paul and Bill 1L Morgan,
Yes, sir,
and
buddy.
we are The Green Hour. And today we're talking a little bit about eating from where you come from, Big B. Eating
man.
from where you come from. The reason why it has, we talk about the sun and how the sun affects us, and why so many people are vitamin D deficient, because you're lacking the sun.
You know what? Wait, let me step on you for a second. You say eat from where we want the folk to understand. We're not just talking about since I was born in Georgia. We're talking about where you are from. That's what you're talking about, right?
Well, I'm talking about the DNA code. So
Okay.
what I'm saying right now is the coding of basically of what's happening with your skin. Once the sun hits you, okay, once the sun hits the skin, and this thing called cholecalciferol,
Okay.
actually is what actually is the reaction that
Okay.
happens with you. And that's the vitamin D effect. That's what's called cholecalciferol. And what's happening with that's the time when it hits your skin, converts now. Remember, anything that your body takes, we are the greatest converters. We convert
Yes.
that sun into energy. Same thing as a plant does. Plant does the same thing. But if you're not getting all the proper rays of the sun, you're not doing all that your body could do to connect itself, right? So actually, this is what creates what's called vitamin D receptors. Got it? Vitamin D receptors. And then from the vitamin C receptors, that actually turns into this other thing called ACH.
Okay.
And ACH is acetylcholine, which is actually deals with what's called neurotransmitters. That's what actually activates all over your body. So you got vitamin D and these connectors that connects with your blood, all the things that are going on with your muscles, your tendons, your joints, your ligaments, everything.
Right.
So it's basically, it's the neurotransmitter that connects to what's called the autonomic system. Okay? And we talk about the autonomic system, which is your motor skills, which actually deals with your motor skills, your walking, your talking, your count, how you balance, all those things. But it also deals with sleep. And it also deals with motor skills of cognitive function. How do you thinking? Are you in the right state of mind? Woo.
That's
deep,
a big
bro.
one right there.
This goes deep.
That's a big one.
Also, repairing. Like when you're repairing, when I talk about how you got to get that deep REM sleep, random eye movement, which means that people aren't getting that deep sleep because you're waking up 3 and 4 times a day. That's why I said, at night, don't drink water after 7 o'clock because now you can't get that random eye movement. But also, that's also the connection between, those neurotransmitters not being able to do their job, to do the repairing. To do what they think. So here it is. It all goes back to your relationship with the sun. Wow. That's deep. So that means that, yes, the sun has the ability to regenerate your body, but you got to get some sun. And when you're not getting the sun, we have the times of the year where we have the fall, which we're about to go into now. Now, when you go into the fall, now you're now falling. The sun is falling. Now we're losing time. Got it? So now we're losing daylight. So that was happening as of June. The summer solstice was June 21st. So now you're losing. Got it?
It's falling off now.
So I'm tying all this up. So we'll pull it up in a bow in a second. But really what I'm trying to do is, this is where your indicators of how your body determines these things called protein spike indicators based on your relationship to the sun. And you heard a lot about the protein spike indicators.
Yes, very much so.
With your body has to make more or they make less to basically tell your body how your immune system is functioning. That's what it's doing. It's basically your relationship of showing your body, how is my immune system functioning? Do I need to make more? Do I do not? So it's already working inside of you. It's an automatic process based on where you come from. Now, let me finish this for a minute.
Go ahead.
I'm going to take your question, all right?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at this, if you find out where you're from, the place where your DNA originated from, your ancestor, because basically you are right now a product of what your parents were eating.
Right, exactly.
Right? So you'll have some folks that say, man, this person was 90 years old, smoked all they got, drank liquor, they did everything. Never had nothing. Never had nothing. But then when you look back to that, they say, oh, wow, they were raised on the farm. Their mother and father was on the farm. They eat raw, organic all their lives.
Yes.
There was something in that DNA that was actually causing them to be more on top. So I'm going to go into that a little bit more. I want you to hold your question, but I'm going to put somebody on the line. We got Cool Beans on there. Cool Beans.
Oh, no, that's Val for Germantown.
That's Val.
Oh, Bill wrote that.
Cool Beans.
All right.
Hello.
Val?
Yes, Dr. Paul?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I'm calling in reference to pH. My husband and I have been coming to you, and when we very first came, our pH was low in the 5, and we boosted it up through a pattern of your instruction and taking the green drink, and we're at a 6.5. Unfortunately, we've been there for a long time, so I'm looking to ways to increase the pH. And what came to mind, I was thinking of organic as averse to inorganic produce. And I was wondering if not only, I know you say the organic has 4 times as much value, does the pesticide and fertilizer effect that go into the soil and go into the plant, does that affect photosynthesis and
absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
pH level of,
Absolutely.
of the produce?
Right, absolutely. It steals the charge. So if you have pesticides in it, and they're, well, we in this case, we're talking about organic versus conventional. Conventional has been denatured. That's the whole part. If you look at the fruits and vegetables like a battery, that's the quickest way and best way to look at it. If you look at a battery, that's like when you buy conventional, that's like buying batteries that's almost dead. That's basically what it is. As opposed to buying something organic when you got fresh batteries. Fresh batteries and alkalinity. Remember, when you buy batteries, you buy what? Alkaline batteries. When they die and they start to go bad, they become acidic. Same thing is happening inside of us. That's where the charge is. I would say your pH, this is not going to happen overnight. Whenever people are doing this, it all has a lot to do with the grounding charge of the liver. That's why when we go through the cycle, first cycle is usually when we start to look at the change. You got to look for about a 6-month cycle. We say not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, just as in general. It's about 6 months you're going to look to, try to make the change by testing yourself, but knowing where you are. So if you're maintaining around a 6.5, that's the borderline. So you just need to continue to do what you're doing. It will come forward. You will start to see the change, but really monitoring is your key, and you're doing that. So yes, inorganics where they have lower charge, it does matter.
So eating more organic, would that help move the pH along? Because what we've been doing is taking the non-organic, and I was told that if you soak it in baking soda, that would destroy some of the pesticides. But
you just said the point. Remember, we're talking about from the seed source. Remember, when you're conventional, when you're conventional, sometimes it's modified from the seed and the soil, or both, or sprayed, sometimes all 3. So that means it has no charge. It's all about a charge. You can't get past that. It's about the charge. So even if you put baking soda on it, that's just clearing off the pesticide effect, which can be messing up your lymphatic system. That's just toxins. But that doesn't have anything to do with charge. That's something totally different. Charge is totally different. That's energy. So I think if you start to monitor that, just continue to do what you're doing. You're doing a great job, by the way. And continue to do this, you'll start to see, the monitoring every day. I tell folks, you always check your pH, at least once a day, and you'll start to see some changes. You're going to, especially if you put after there how you feel. You say, how I feel right now. You'll notice that what I'm feeling like I'm really strong, my pH is up. But when I'm really kind of drifting a little bit, it's down. Got it. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, Val. You've helped somebody today.
Okay, and I thank you so much. Have a good day, Dr. Paul. Thank
All right.
you.
Take care now. All right. Brother Youssef. Let's take Brother Youssef.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brother Youssef. How you doing?
There's 2 things I want to speak on real quick. The vaccine. There's people calling in and people saying that those of us who look at the vaccine as a chemical-based medication that does no good, more harm than good, because as a holistic health person who believes in herbs, we don't believe in chemical-based foods. We don't believe in chemical-based drinks. So now we're going to turn to a chemical-based vaccine when we know that with herbs, because of the sun and the water, do for us? No. And then they call us morons and we're ignorant because we don't believe in this chemical-based medical treatment? I don't see that. And let's talk about the sun. I don't use an air conditioner for that reason. Because when you use an air conditioner, you have to close your windows so that the air conditioner will work. And that blocks the sun's rays from coming into your living space. I put my screens in my windows, put a window fan in, I have a ceiling fan, and then I have backup fans in shaded areas of my living space, and it cools me right on off. I do not block the sun's rays because without the sun, okay, we don't have the needed immune system support. And that's why
right.
things grow from the soil because of the sun and the water. And
That's
people
correct.
can condemn it all they want. And so, man, I got an air conditioner. Well, I use fans because I don't want my windows closed. And I know where to put the fans to keep me cool. And as far as that vaccine, it's chemical-based. And if people want to use a chemical-based medication, go right on ahead. I'm herbal, I'm holistic, and I'm going to use the herbs forever and a day. I'm 65 years old. I don't get headaches. I don't get stomach aches. I don't get no colds. And I've never had to take a flu shot, and I've never had the flu. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Brother Yusef. You dropped the mic on that one. Yes. Hey, bro, I understand. I definitely understand where you're coming from. And, yes, we always say, we got to get past the point of, is this something that, is natural, is not. And anything you put in your body that's going against the immune system is a poison. That's it. If you get past the poison, you got to get past that point. Big B, you got to get past that point.
No doubt,
Never is there anything that you put in the most critical part of your body, which is in your blood. So again, relationship to the sun, the sun is so critical. So Big B, what was the question that you had?
I'm glad you were talking about that because, you were talking about the relationships with the sun. And I thought about something really crazy. My solar panels are on the side of the house that follows the sun. That's something I never thought about really before, because it tells me really where the strongest rays is coming from.
That's right.
That's on the south face of my home.
Right, which means you're going to grab both east to west.
Exactly.
Sunlight during the day. That's why if you ever had anyone come and measure your home for solar panels, they're going to look for that whole thing from that spectrum. Do you have a solar direct? Sun, south direction where you can get east and west and the south. Yes, that's perfect for you. So, it grabs the light.
I'm glad I came to class today, man.
All right.
It's things like that I think the family should really kind of think about, because you know what? Right. We do a lot of things many times without thinking about it, and I think kind of helps us, such as in our space. Right? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So here we are. I wanted you to go to this website. And Big B, you can probably drop it on the chat there if those that are following us on, maybe Facebook or YouTube or any of the media sources. It's called FamilyTreeDNA.com. And this is a good way of just knowing your information. Now, I got the folks that'll say, oh, man, you don't want nobody to know what your stuff is. Hey, guess what? Since 1947, everybody's been in the database. So only one that doesn't have the information is you, which you need it more than anybody, because it may depend on where you are right now. Some of the chronic conditions that you're facing, you can start to use these things based on getting the information. Now, I'm going to give you an example. When I did my DNA, it came back and said, wow, Big B, it came back and showed me, kind of answered a lot of questions. I used to go around having a lot of hot food.
Yeah.
Love hot food, hot peppers, and also not only that, but, certain styles of music I had, I was like, I don't know why I love this, but it makes me feel a certain way. A lot of that's already indigenous, already in my DNA.
Yeah.
So when I pulled it out, it was showing West Africa, it showed Nigeria, the specific tribes of Igbo, Yoruba, Iwe, Gond, I was all in there. And that was the X and the Y chromosome, looking for what was called the paternal side. Yeah. When you do these tests, you'll go into maybe one of these tests. It's basically, we had in our men's group, we called we put you on the block, because we know that a lot of the transatlantic slave things happened when they captured us. They put us on the slave blocks. And so what we do is we put you back on the block. This is what we used to do at the men's gathering. And those that are listening probably remember this. And we would get your DNA and the data. And then guess what? We would put you back on there. And then you would read your ancestry of where you came from. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world, because now you're discovering again, you're unveiling where you come from. So when it comes back and it tells me that I'm from this region, I started looking into the foods that are from there and where the migration came from. So the migration, a lot of that went from Nigeria and through the transatlantic slave, transatlantic slave movement went through places. And the largest part of where I come from came from Brazil, went to Brazil.
Oh, to Brazil. Okay.
And that's exactly the music, because I had a buddy, he says, man, you like that music, man. You know what that is? I said, man, yeah, this is. He says, no, man, that's samba. You like the samba.
No, I know why we be kicking with that on Wednesday nights.
That's why we kick it on Wednesday night. So you can find out where you're from, and then we're going to get into the dietary laws of those places. That's what helps you now to research and go into it a little bit deeper. All right, Jordan's telling me we got to take a quick break. I want to come back a little bit more. We're going to take more callers, but then I want to break down another place where you can go to look for those transatlantic slave voyages. And you can find out where your specific tribe came, right after you get your DNA, get your slave tribe, the tribes from where you came from the slave voyages website, and then you can actually see the dietary laws that were part of those people from those regions. All right, this is Dr. Paul, Bill 1L Morgan, Green Hour. We'll be right back.
Berger Montague is a Philadelphia-based plaintiffs' class action law firm committed to helping Philadelphia's black community. Berger Montague maintains a strong commitment to fostering diversity and equity throughout the legal community and in society in general. In 2020, Berger Montague filed a pro bono case against the IRS when they refused to send COVID-19 stimulus checks to federal benefits recipients with dependent children. Thanks to Berger Montague, people across the United States were able to obtain dependent benefit checks that they desperately needed. Berger Montague supports WURD Radio and Philadelphia's black community. For more information about Berger Montague Law Firm, please call 215-875-3033 or email at info@bm.net.
So, what's the asking price on these houses?
You'd probably be more comfortable living somewhere else.
How long a lease is the landlord looking for?
Well, I'm sure you can afford to live here, but...
What are the schools like in this district?
Yeah, we have twins in the 5th grade.
This neighborhood isn't really for your kids. You know what I mean?
If you're black, Latino, Asian American, or Middle Eastern, and a real estate agent or rental agent says anything like this, you know what it means. You're being discriminated against. Housing discrimination because of race, color, or national origin is against the law. If you believe you've experienced housing discrimination, contact HUD. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing. That's HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A message from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
The Black Words Book Club. WURD Radio's conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. The Black Words book for September is Race Against Time, The Politics of a Darkening America by Keith Boykin. Be sure to listen live, as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it, Tuesday, September 14th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for WURD members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color. Want the latest in WURD swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on wordradio.com. Show the world that you're all about black. Talk Media. You're listening to The Green Hour, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Black Talk Media.
And we are back. This is Dr. Paul and Bill 1L Morgan, and we are The Green Hour, talking today about eating from where you come from. You need to know this information, y'all. You didn't know, maybe that's the reason why I have the desires for certain types of food all the time, why some foods I don't like. has everything to do with where you come from. So we were talking today about the finding, first of all, your ancestry. If you're interested, there is a website that I, said that you can do all the information, and you may have been part of the African American websites and those brothers and sisters that have websites that actually do the same thing. So that's why I'm saying I recommend them all. Just find out your information. The main thing is that you find who you are and where you're coming from, paternal and maternal. I would do both. But paternal is always, when they do it, they always ask for the X and the Y chromosomes, so it's the longest lineage of who you are. And that if women want to find out their longest lineage, they'll do a breakdown on the family tree DNA. They show you how they capture the haplogroups and things like that. And it has to do with the family of the male in that line. So if you're a female, you have to go through your father or your uncle or your brother or someone in that male line to get that. So with that family tree DNA, a perfect example was also, it shows how long and where you come from, literally Adam. It literally says where you come from, the lineage of Adam. It shows that I'm 4 steps away from Adam. They say, you got some old DNA, bro. You got some old DNA.
And Dr. Paul, we really are connected to the lines there, too.
DNA, yeah,
man.
Old DNA. So this is where you would do it. Now, once you get that information, and it even breaks it down to giving you the tribes and things like that, where you from, and those in those regions, and those that have taken this particular test also, so it'll link you with them. Right. But it also goes into the tribes. Now, I want to give you another website. This website is called slavevoyages.org. Okay, Slave Voyages, SLAVE, Voyages with an S.org. Now, this is one of the largest databases, comprised of about 36,000 individual slave expeditions, and that was between 1514 and 1866. Now, there's a lot of accuracy. There may be, I've heard those that say that there may be a little bit of difference and sway with those numbers, but this is where the numbers came from, some of the highest universities of research that this was done. So they took all the slave voyages and they saw the manuscripts, the places, the slaves, the vessels, they named it all. And it's on one website, and it's free for information for you to know. Rice, Emory University, Hutchins Center for African American Research is on here. National Museum of African American History Culture is a part of this. Also Berkeley, UC Irvine is on here. Also UC Santa Cruz is on here. All the research institutions are in here. So this is a great website. Big B, this is awesome. And you go into the slave manuscripts of like who was on the ship, where they were going, where they captured, the slaves from, who was cutting up on the ship, all this, everything. It goes, it's some powerful information.
Wow.
But where you're finding is African names are on this database. They got an African names database. They have an images gallery where you can go in and see some of the original maps. This is all stuff that was documented, and it is one of the greatest website locations that I've seen as far as put together. And they've actually rendered things on the website in 3D video. So it's a lot of great stuff on here. So when you do all of that, now it points you from where you come from. Now you study those people in that region now, and you'll find out there's a lot of comparisons to you. All right, we're going to go back to a couple of callers because time is moving fast today, Big B.
Yeah, man, as always.
Who do we have there, Jordan?
Yeah, we got Carl from Germantown.
Carl. Brother Carl.
Hey, good afternoon, Dr. Paul.
All right. How you doing?
Doing well, all things considered. I have a quick question for you. I know that you emphasize the herbs a lot, but I never hear you talk about, at least I don't recall hearing you talk about vitamins and minerals and supplementation with vitamins and minerals. What is your thinking on that, and do you recommend getting the body assessed for vitamin and mineral nutritional levels?
Yes, I do address that also. And the reason why I address it in the matter of dealing with the herbs specifically is because those vitamins and minerals come from the plant. And sometimes when you're doing with assessments, you'll notice that it's more than just the mineral or the vitamin. Usually when you take it and synthesize it, remember, when you separate, isolate, or divide anything, you've taken it from its original source. So when you have a potassium or a mineral from like a chromium or something like that, it comes from a plant somewhere. So what happens is you tend to have, when you take that, it sort of like does something okay, but it doesn't do the full effect. So why not take it from its original source? That's why we take it from the plant that has the highest chromium, the highest potassium, and therefore the family was never separated. See, when you separated that, isolated that mineral or vitamin, you took it away from its family. You abandoned it. So it wasn't just that mineral, it was the family that kept it in order and kept you in order, because the plant was balanced, because the plant was alive. Now when you isolated, separated, and divided it, technically you turned it into a drug, even though it's a vitamin. So that's my spin on that. So that's why we go back to the highest of that mineral. But remember also, you could be throwing yourself out of balance by having certain types of vitamins, minerals, or amino acids that you don't need. You could be overlapping, and you can cause your body to spin in a different direction. So you don't need it. So you always want to do something balanced. That's why we go to the plant first. Okay?
But how do you know which things you're deficient in?
That's what we use. That's where the assessment comes in. From the urine analysis, we can tell where the imbalances are. We do a urine analysis, and from the urine analysis, we can tell liver, pancreas, kidneys, white blood cell, proteins. We can show all the imbalances. There are other ways that you can check also. We have ways that we can look in pH. Usually starts with the liver cleansing, though. It starts to cleanse from the liver. You start to regenerate 11 times faster.
Okay.
So I would definitely invite the person. What was that?
Sometime in the future, would you talk about sleep apnea and also restorative sleep, maybe on a future show, if you think that's important?
Yeah, we've covered those, bro. We have covered it, and I will cover it again. Sleep apnea is definitely something that a lot of people have. That circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm, cycles, rhythms has a lot to do with REM, active sleep. We went into the trifactors of the pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, that's called the grand triangle. So we talk about how that affects sleep apnea. So definitely there are some older shows that you can listen to on Dr. Paul's Holistic Health Network, which is on Facebook. We got a whole line of them, but we talk about all those things. Got it? So it's a private network. So if you send me an invitation, I'll look at it and invite you into the private network. It's on Facebook, okay?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Big B, who else is on there? Jordan, who else do we have?
Yeah, we got Diane from South Philly.
Diane? Okay, Diane?
Hi, Dr. Paul and Brother Bill. I'm a beast class, Dr. Paul. I want to know, I know it's vitamin C in a green drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, you told us about some Purity C. That was the best vitamin C. Now, it says on the bottle that you're supposed to take it 3 times a day, and by me and my husband taking a green drink, do we have to take it 3 times a day, or how many do we have to take it?
Well, vitamin C is because of what's happening with the COVID-19, you can't get enough vitamin C. It's not a fat soluble; it's water soluble. So it means that it just comes out of the urine. So you're actually getting the higher levels of that. It's an antioxidant, so it's going to start to do the things that it has to do to help the body correct itself. So it's never going to be a problem to the point where you're taking to the point where usually you don't hear people saying too much because it's water soluble. Got it?
Okay.
So I would say if you're taking a green drink, I don't know, I can't identify who you really are, but when you come back through, we can look at your specific situation and tell if you need to amp it up more or if you need to reduce it or whatever that are recommended. But that would be an assessment, okay?
Okay, and one more question. The elderberry, right? Do they have it in capsules, the elderberry?
Which one, elderberry?
No, sir, elderberry.
Yeah, elderberry, yes.
Oh, elderberry.
Yeah, elderberry. Yep, elderberry is in all forms. You got it in the syrup, and also you have it in capsules. That is correct.
What's the best one to take?
You have if you can get there is no one that's better. There is no better one than the other. Just make sure that it's not been, you bought it from a place that's made the commitment to be organic. Got it? It's like an herbal store. So if you decide to do teas, if you decide to do capsules, if you decide to do the syrups, you're all good. To be more on point, though, if it's something that you really need, capsule version, we always say start there. Okay, and take it as recommended on the bottle. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul, and thank you. Brother Bill.
Right.
You both work so nicely together. Unity. Thank you.
That's crazy, Bill over there.
That's my boy.
All right. Thank you so much, sister. Appreciate you. All right, Jordan, how we doing on time?
He said time to wrap up. He threw the hook at us.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he said throw the time to wrap up. We had one or two covers left on there. We will try to get
those left.
Yeah. Can we take Anthony real quick?
Yeah,
You think we can get him in?
real quick.
Okay, let's take him real quick. Okay, Anthony.
Hey, Dr. Paul, how are you?
All right.
I went out and got some melon tea. The mullein. So how do I take that? Well, what do you suggest on a mullein tea?
Okay, what form did you get it?
It's in tea bags.
Okay, then just basically steep it as a tea. We start off with, as it's recommended on the bottle, or the package container. Usually they'll say start off with, twice a day, in the morning and just before your last meal or after your last meal of the day. And that helps with digestion also. That's usually with all teas. 3 to 5 minutes steeping, hot water, things like that. It should have the directions right on there. Okay?
All right, then. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you,
man.
All right, thank you, Anthony.
Hey, Dr. Fenner, you got to go. Now we got to wrap up. One quick question. Let's say if an individual has to take meds at night and they have to take water, does that throw the whole process off?
Well, the what now? Say it again.
Let's say it's taking. We don't want to have people drinking a lot of water late at night. But what if someone has to take meds and they have to take water?
Yeah, and it's late at night. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
that's where you have to sort of look at your schedule and sort of rework that, because if you're taking meds late at night and you're drinking water after 7, that's going to cause a problem. You're going to be up within 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So you might want to talk with your healthcare professional, your doctor. Is there a way that you can work around that, because it will interrupt your sleep. You can't get deep sleep if you're drinking water and you're getting up in the middle of the night. It's not going to work.
Because I know people want to know about that.
And nothing's more important than your sleep there, Big B.
You got it, buddy.
All right, family. So I hope you got those 2 websites. The one was the FamilyTreeDNA.com and also Slave Voyages with an S.org. I think these are 2 incredible research websites. You need to see the latest updates that they've done on this with the transatlantic, the inter-American, African names. They've done all these things. So it's a great website for you to check out. All right, Big B, we got to close out.
Got to roll,
man. If you want to get a hold of me, family, you want to do a one-on-one or RM3A, we do all of that. 1-877-377-2854. That's 1-877-377-2854. Or you can call me directly, 215-779-7355. That's 215-779-7355, or go to our website, www.drpaulers.com. Or you can also join us when you go to that website. Join us for our Wednesday session of Family Tree. And that's happening every Wednesday evening at 7:30. We'll send you a private invitation. Just put your information right in our subscriber list. All right? Big B, I want to thank you, man.
Yeah, man,
and
always.
Jordan, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir, as always. As always.
We want to thank our producers and producers, Michael Ledbetter, Laura Lomax, and the president, CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, and entire Lomax family. Hey, Miss Beverly, we love you now. Providing this platform for us and our people so we can talk the way we talk. Right, Big B?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, man. You have a great day. To everyone, be encouraged. And remember, if you're breathing,
got a shot. God bless everybody.